Morning, everybody. Usually I have a paragraph-long intro that covers where we are and why we're here, but we've been waiting long enough to race at GRIDLIFE Chicago in 2021. My name is Kyle Heyer alongside DJ Alessandrini. I'm tired of waiting for racing, so I'm not going to bore anybody with all the details, but we are at Autobahn Country Club, a 2.1-mile racetrack in Joliet, Illinois. DJ completely rained out yesterday. We will have 3 races today instead of 4. It all begins now with race number 1. Got 40 cars on the grid, and we're ready to go racing.
Good things come to those who wait, and we've waited long enough. So, I mean, if that saying rings true, then we should have some good things in order here. You got Tom Gorman leading the field with his ASM teammate. That's a time attack car as the pace car. It's 3 ASM cars right in the front, man. That's they're going to screenshot that. That's going to be hanging in their office.
They certainly are going to have that hanging in the office. Let's go over the starting lineup for today's race. On row number 1, Tom Gorman in the number 94 Honda S2000. His teammate Andy Smedgaard is in second.
Second row, we have Emil Tab and Aaron Lichty.
In row number 3, it's Jeremy Swenson and Eric Cattell.
Fourth row is Brian Highcotter and Joel Morrison.
Row number 5, Louis Chatroop in the number 26 and Justin Kelly in the 86.
And row number 6 is Aramis Karasas and Tiffany Kelly.
Scott Robertson starts 13th alongside Austin Hurdle in the number 34.
And the next row is Justin Lee and Chris Adams.
Ryan Upham, Matan Rosenberg share row number 9. Kerry James, Jake Jorenstad, row 10. Patrick Reyes, Justin Barty, Gary Wimble, Jake Price. Zach Lovoy, another ASM driver, followed by Seth Gale. Myers in the 404. Then Gonzalez, Ortiz, and McGee were the only 30 drivers that made qualifying laps, qualifying wet to dry conditions yesterday. DJ, the track might still be a little damp in some areas, but effectively dry. You're going to be running slick tires for this round.
This is essentially the best track conditions that any group has seen the entire weekend, which, considering there's still damp parts of the track, is saying a lot on how it was yesterday. Sorry for those who tuned in yesterday and was expecting a show. I guess racing's kind of weather-related on some level. I know there's going to be some NASCAR jokes out there, but you can't. The cars don't have rudders.
You can race in the rain. You can't race in the ocean unless you're on a boat.
Yeah, racing through a lake's not going to work well.
No. There's a couple cars out here that are closer to boats than cars, but we do have a whole lot of race cars out here as well. So Tom Gorman, let's talk about him real quick. He's been sort of the topic of discussion as of late. His first round in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup in his own race car was back at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course last year. Was running on street tires, and the car was a little bit under-prepped, but now it's gone to Andy Smedgaard, and it has been absolutely fantastic since he's upgraded and swapped to the K24 that's in that car. He's won 4 out of the last 5 races, and he's ready to rip today. Have a look at the weather. 78 degrees Fahrenheit, sunny. DJ, not a lot of green.
Somehow the track temp is lower than the air temp. That's an anomaly. There's a thermometer that's off, but it's not warm. It's not like Gingerman 3 weeks ago. And Kyle, the tricky thing that we should touch on with this racetrack is, even though as we see in the drone cam right here, most of it looks dry, especially right here. This looks really dry. But there's some weepy bits that will always keep the track wet. Always. There will always be wet parts on the track just because the water seeps out of the ground.
So we come into the green flag here in just a minute. Pace car is off. GRIDLIFE Touring Cup race number 1 from Autobahn Country Club at GRIDLIFE Chicago in 2021. Finally time to go racing for the second time in its history. GLTC is green at Autobahn. Racing down towards turn 1, 3 wide. Emil Tab looks up the inside, backs out. Smedgaard around the outside of O'Gorman. Double wide ASM cars out front. Behind him, it's the winning Formula Camp. Still door to door. Big splash through the water for one driver in the background as they come out of turn 2. Now to turn 3 and onto the backstretch, DJ.
Yeah, it looks like we're clean. We have Aaron Lichty poking on Emil Tab. Those 2 are teammates. Those 2 are going to be hunting down the ASM camp. Jeremy Swenson in 5th place without teammates. I wonder how the teammates are going to come into play.
Tom Gorman leads now, heading towards the backside of the course. Turns 5, 6, and 7. Brian Highcotter for the Chris Forsberg Racing Team is in the number 5. He's the black 370Z at the back of your shot. But right now it's O'Gorman, Smedgaard, Emil Tab, and Aaron Lichty, the top 4. Right behind him, Jeremy Swenson, the number 30 purple Corvette on big old street tires, DJ, and it is really, really fast. It beat Tomo at Gingerman race 4.
Right, he's not on the Yokohamas this time around. He's on some Nankang CR1s, giving those a shot. Obviously, he's also quick on those. So it's going to be tough for Eric Cattell to find his way past Swenson, because Jeremy Swenson in that big Corvette with the amount of torque that he has, it's going to be really quick down the straightaways.
Yeah, so Gorman leads down this 1,850-foot-long back straightaway. You see Swenson pulling in on Aaron Lichty behind. It's Eric Cattell. Then it's Heitkotter just behind. That 370Z is also very powerful. But look at Smedgaard keeping touch with O'Gorman right now, about 2 car lengths back. Big jump over the curb through this last little chicane. It's a short shoot now to this turns 13, 14, and 15 complex, DJ, and a pretty short front straightaway as well.
Right, yeah, it's you kind of build speed leaving the back straight. You have a quick right, left, and then you just have a really, really quick right. It's like a double right onto the front straight. So even though it's a short front straight, you are carrying some speed. And the technical aspects.
Whoa, Swenson off, and he got into the water, went way off course, mowing the lawn at the exit at turn number 2. He's going to get back on course, but that car is not going to steer very well. And again, there's a huge puddle of water at the exit as we see Justin Kelly have a look at Chatroop. He's going to muscle that car back on course, but there's a ton of water out there, DJ. These cars will not drive in the water on the tires.
But most importantly, he kept control of the car to the best of his ability and kept it on track. Ooh, side by side heading into turn 5. Who is that?
I think that's Kelly on Chatroop still. Oh, that's Upham on Chris Adams in the 187. Whoa, real tight. Oh, Adams on the curbing. Back and forth, he's going to gather it. What a save.
That was amazing.
Incredible by Chris Adams. He just saved 2 race cars from certain disaster. That was spectacular.
Yeah, that's driver of the day fan vote. We need the vote for Chris Adams there.
Joel Morrison smelling blood in the water, and Chris Adams is also feeling the pressure. But here's Chatroop. That's Morrison now right on the tailpipes. Justin Kelly, and behind him, that's Tiffany Kelly, his wife in the S2000. Big understeer there for her as she hits a little bit of a damp patch. But Morrison now on Chatroop side by side.
Yeah, Tiffany Kelly actually recently is a driver that participated in some Discovery Channel reality show. So we'll all be tuning into that, see how she did in that competition that they were doing.
Well, Eric Cattell up to 5th after Swenson went off course. There's C. Morrison still behind Chatroop, but up front, O'Gorman is the quickest driver on the racetrack, but Smedgaard is keeping him honest there as he's Scott Robertson around in front of Jeremy Swenson. But I've been really, really impressed with Smedgaard's ability to keep up with Tomo right now. Tom is not safe just yet, and we have a long way to go. We're only 3 minutes into this race.
Yeah, I mean, Tom's running fast up front, but Aaron Lichty is the fastest driver on that last lap, so it'll be interesting to see if it turns into a 4-car race toward the end of the race. You know, the ASM camp got a little bit of a gap right in the beginning, but here we see Aaron Lichty getting close to the bumper of Andy Smedgaard.
I was watching Scott Robertson in his NB Mazda Miata go through a splash at the exit of turn 2. Look at this. Here is Justin Lee, the number 33. Chris Adams getting right back on the horse after that big moment a little while ago. Looks a little slow here as we've got that white BMW coming up on driver's left. I don't actually know who's in that car this week. That's a new entrant this time around. And
they're making a diamond into turn 4. There was 2 wide, and they were bumper to bumper.
There's Dustin Barty defending from Chris Adams now on the backside of the course here. As Chris Adams, again, with that massive save a lap ago, he is not phased. Right back up to pace here, attacking the back of that 8th gen Honda Civic.
Where's Upham, though? Has he already left him?
He is up the road a little bit, as I understand. Adams dropped down to 18th place. As Adams now on the inside, big moment at the exit. Whoa, that was almost a fender touch there as they're on door-to-door into the chicane. Real tight on the backside of this racetrack, DJ. Slow corner speeds, but that nimble, lightweight Miata is going to be a rocket ship leaving.
Yeah, Upham must have had some issues in qualifying because I look at his pace compared to the people around him. He's 3 to 4 seconds a lap faster.
He was really quick in qualifying. Ended up dropping down as the slick tires got better in qualifying. He was on wets, so by the end of the session he had fallen down.
Gotcha. Okay, that explains that. Good insight, Kyle.
No Luke McGrew, unfortunately. At least we haven't seen much of him yet. I think there he is right as we speak of the devil. He's working his way towards the top 15 after having the inability to qualify yesterday. Was chasing some electrical issues. Has that resolved now, but is charging from the back.
Yeah, I mean, those at that point you just you say, okay, we're gonna have a fun weekend. Obviously, the results aren't gonna be there, but man, I'm gonna pass a lot of cars, and it's gonna make a cool YouTube video.
Sure is. Tom O'Gorman out front still by about 10 car lengths over his teammate, but Aaron Lichty is running Smedgaard down, and actually, you can see Smedgaard closing back in on Tomo. So O'Gorman didn't get past at all at Gingerman Raceway last week, but right now he's got all sorts of pressure from the guy that built his motor right behind him.
Right, well, built most of his car, honestly. We have a slip up from Tom. He runs a little wide.
And Andy Smedgaard takes the lead, and here goes Aaron Lichty into second place. O'Gorman slow on the back straightaway. That's more than a slip up. I think he's got a problem. He's dropped way off the pace as the race leader is also slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, we don't see Tom at all.
Yeah, he's pulled off course. And Gorman, the driver who's won 4 of the last 5 races, is now off track and presumably finding an area. Now, we just hope that that isn't an engine where he felt like there was fluid as you see him hitting pit lane. Or that wasn't him, was it?
If it was him, he's really fast because the leaders came through.
He did an entire lap. No, but that's unfortunate for Tomo. But Andy Smedgaard takes the lead. He's won a handful of races so far this season. But Aaron Lichty, he has not won a race since Circuit of the Americas back in February. He is very hungry and very fast. He's coming for the lead.
Yeah, Lichty looked great through turn 3, held a lot more speed than Andy Smedgaard into turn 4. Lichty's been kind of running in clean air, but Smedgaard's been on Tom's bumper, so it'll be curious to what Smedgaard's pace is. But again, when you're on the attack, it's a little easier than when you're on the defense mentally.
This is a classic mashup from last year. Remember that these two were the ones that were at the front all weekend in 2020. And it was Andy and Aaron that traded victories back and forth. Aaron won 3 and Andy won 1 of them. Now the roles are reversed and Lichty's going to have to pass Smedgaard. They had a little bit of a rub last year down in turn number 1. I'm sure Lichty is going to be ready to remember that, and they're going to run door to door here in a minute.
Yeah, if you fell into a coma for exactly a year, you'd find the same exact battle on stream, except that now Andy Smedgaard has polished wheels and a different livery.
Yes. Aaron Lichty's car looks the same, but I promise you, Aaron is always improving that car. He's always getting faster as a driver, and again, he's the winningest driver in the series. Was runner-up in the championship points last year. Look at Emil Tab right behind, dealing with the hybrid racing EG of Eric Catil. That car has seen a whole bunch of change in the last 3 days. It's got all sorts of issues they've been working out, but that car got a K24 at the beginning of last season. It's seen some issues, but Eric Catil charging forward as the reigning champion of the series.
Yeah, Eric Catil started 6th, now he's 4th, and do we know where Brian Highcutter started? Because he's kind of snuck his way into 5th place.
He started inside the top 10, but he's lingering back there in that big 370Z. Has a lot of ground to make up, but he's running pretty good lap times. But the lead is tightening up. Oh, spin for Emil Tab at the exit at turn number 2. Whoa,
Highcutter coming through.
And Highcutter is going to take advantage. He's going to go through both of them, side by side down towards turn number 4. Was there a touch between Catil and Tab?
Yeah, we kind of missed it, but I mean, it looks like there must have been a touch or heavily avoidance from somebody messing up. Eric, did Eric's car look like it was crabbing a little bit?
It might be. He was wiggling the steering wheel back and forth, maybe trying to clear the fender if there was a touch, but I'm not quite sure. We'll have to get a closer look at that. There's Justin Kelly now into the mix, smelling blood in the water for these guys kind of daggering at each other just a little bit.
Right. I mean, hopefully everything's okay between Eric and Emil's car. It seems like they're back up to pace, maybe a little shaken.
Yeah, that was a wild moment. The track conditions are not ideal for slick tires. They're still a little bit damp, so that corner in particular is very, very slippery. And if you're door to door, that could lead to some very sketchy moments. But they're back up to pace now as Kelly is all over Emil Tab to grab that position away. All this is happening behind a great battle for the lead with Smedgaard and Lichty up at the front.
Yeah, I'll touch on something I touched on in the beginning of the broadcast, which is the track might look dry, but there's water that literally seeps out of cracks and pours in the track. So it changes lap to lap, especially as the sun heats up the surface. It'll actually draw that water out of the track. So one lap, it might be completely fine there, probably side by side in turn 1. And the next lap, there's water coming out of the track.
Yeah, I don't see any damage on those cars, so I think they might have gotten away with whatever was going on there. But Andy Smedgaard hanging on over Aaron Lichty. This is really impressive defense. I think Lichty's the faster car right now, but it's one thing to catch him, a whole other thing to pass him, DJ.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Aaron Lichty's he's a cool cucumber, and he deals well under pressure, and I mean, so far watching Andy Smedgaard, he's definitely dealing with the pressure very well.
Yeah, 10 minutes into this race, approximately 5 remaining here in GLTC this afternoon, or this morning, I should say. We'll have 2 more races to finish off the weekend. Now, this is technically acting as race number 1, so we will grid the second race of today by lap time. So that's a crucial factor specifically for Tom Gorman, because he's out of this race. He will finish poorly. However, if he can fix whatever the issue is, he's got about 3.5 hours to do that. He can start right back up front.
Yeah, that's crucial for Tom. I'm sure he's probably not thinking about that right at this moment.
No.
Oh, side by side.
Jake Price going by Justin Lee, and Price is taking a head of steam there with him. There's Gary Wimble in the NC Miata, then Jake Price, Justin Lee, a couple of BMWs fighting it out, and then behind them there's Zach Lovoy in that the S2000 with the yellow tinted headlights. That's another ASM car. Lovoy in only his second GLTC event, as you see him there in the red car.
Yes, I had the opportunity to hang out with Zach at Gingerman, and he's just he's real humble and kind, and he he's exactly what GLTC we want, which is just people who want to have some fun racing.
And look at Jeremy Swenson up the inside of Chatroop. This has been an amazing recovery for Swenson. He was off track for about 3 corners earlier in the race. This is to get back into 11th. So if Swenson can do that, that would be a pretty decent recovery. And again, all about lap time. He's still got a couple seconds to get up where he probably wants to be. But it's not going to be a bad start for race 2 by any means.
No, yeah, it's not the end of the weekend for Jeremy Swenson. Right now, he's just recovering some points just from his little oopsie.
So watching Swenson through turn number 1 now, the big puddle of water that he hit earlier is on driver's left, and he's going to miss it this time through, but Chatroop is behind him now. Swenson up to 11th, has to chase down Austin Hurdle. Again, Swenson from Moorhead, Minnesota, driving that 2001 Chevy Corvette, big old thundering V8 underneath it. Way detuned, DJ, to get that big flat torque curve, and it's real fast leaving corners.
Yeah, leaving a corner, it's real fast. Toward the end of the straightaway, it tends to run out a little bit of legs, but we got a nice little gaggle here. Austin Hurdle, I believe that's Ryan Upham and Tiffany?
Or no, you're right. It is Tiffany Kelly in the S2000. So behind Upham, it's Tiffany Kelly. Austin Hurdle in the white, red, and gray 370Z. They're tightening up here on the backside of the course. Looks like Hurdle's a little quicker than Tiffany right now. She's struggling to get off the corner. You see the 370Z pulling in. The interesting thing is that Tiffany's car, while it's an S2000, it's powered by essentially a Honda Odyssey minivan V6 power plant. It's torquey just like that 370.
It is. Honestly, those engines are pretty similar.
And it looks like the 370, though, going to have a little bit more power on the back straightaway here into the hard braking zone for turn number 11. Way down to second gear. Tiffany defends very, very well. Slips, though. Austin Hurdle's going to go the long way around, try to cross her over on the run down to the last couple corners.
Now he needs to impede her corner entry into here and then roll more speed down the straightaway. He's going to get another chance if he left him some space to make a run out of this double right-hander.
Back onto the front straightaway. Tiffany hangs on for now. As we come by the start stand, any lap could be the last one, but Andy Smedgard continues to lead and drive away from Aaron Lichty. Last time by a 1:32.067. That's the best lap anybody has run so far today.
That is fast. That has to be the fastest lap of the race. So we'll see Andy, unless somebody else throws out a flyer, we'll see him starting from the front next race.
Checkered flag is out. I think that's over. So Andy Smedgard, when he comes around, that's it. So Smedgard wins race number 1. Aaron Lichty, Brian Heitkotter, podium for the number 5. That's a great run for him.
Yeah,
Eric Catil,
definitely.
4th. Emil Tab, 5th. After their scary moment, I'm sure they're happy this is over.
That was a ninja checkered flag, Kyle.
Yes, it was. It snuck underneath us, but Andy Smedgard wins his first race since NCM, our event back in Bowling Green, Kentucky a couple months ago out of Plover, Wisconsin, in his 2017 Honda S2000. You'll note that they didn't make an S2000 in 2017. Well, that's the year the motor came out of, I believe, from his, or the year it was at least built, from my understanding. So
yeah.
That's where that car...
Is that why he put 2017?
That is why. It's not an error, I promise you.
No, not a typo.
Not a typo. Eddie Smedgard wins. Aaron Lichty 2nd. Brian Heitkotter 3rd. Then Eric Catil, Emil Tab 4th and 5th. Then Justin Kelly, Joel Morrison, Upham up to 8th from 14th starting spot. Tiffany Kelly gets a top 10. So does Austin Hurdle. Swenson misses out. And unfortunately for Tom O'Gorman, we're going to have to take a look here and see where he officially finished. But from my understanding, he did not finish this race. But I'm curious where his lap time was. So just hang tight for 1 second. I'm going to pull up what his lap time was, and we can get an idea of where he will start if he can sort that car out. He finished 32nd, but if you sort by best lap, he is going to start race number 2 of the day in 5th, which is...
That'll be fun to watch.
That'll be fun to watch. Hopefully that car is repairable, but if there's anybody that can repair a car in 3.5 hours, even if it's something catastrophic, Andy Smedgard is the guy to do it.
I feel like Andy could build a car in 3.5 hours.
He probably could build a fleet of cars in a half an hour.
Look, Eric Catil is the fastest person I've ever seen work on a car, and I've been informed by Tom that Andy's even faster, so that's impressive. If you guys have ever seen anybody who absolutely knows their way around a specific car, it's actually really impressive. They should do live streams, honestly. I would watch that.
It's pretty amazing. So 32 cars took the green. We had 42 on the entry list, 41. Jeremy Boysen didn't show this weekend. So we had 41 cars on the entry list, 32 raced. So there was some attrition. Some drivers may be deciding not to go out. But here's a look at the start. This is spectacular. Great job by the stream team to get us a replay of the start of the race. Have a look at this. O'Gorman on the inside. Watch the big puddle of water. Who's the car that hits it?
We had 3 wide in the back.
Oh, it's Joel Morrison that hit that.
Yeah, that's why he hit it. They were 3 wide all the way through turn 1.
Yeah, and that was the scary moment for turn number 1, lap number 1, to have drivers in a foot of water at the exit.
Right.
Turn
so
2.
that puddle isn't actually on track. There is some water on track, but that puddle is right on the edge of the curbing.
Here's Jeremy Swenson's moment. We were watching this a little earlier in the day. He comes through turn number 1 here, and he's going to track out a little bit too far. Just gets out in the water and straight off. Your steering doesn't work, your brakes don't work. This is a scary moment.
Yeah, that left front just got into the damp track, and then once it dropped into the grass, I mean, honestly, amazing job.
This is driver of the year. Gets out on the curb, huge slide, tank slapper. The fact that he didn't take out his car and Upham's, that deserves a gold medal. That deserves a trophy in my book.
Yeah, I imagine Upham shaking his hand right now.
And this is the issue between Eric Catil and Emil Tab. Now, Eric Catil was fighting ABS issues. He just installed ABS. You saw the tire smoking there, so he had locked it down. So we're going to go back, talk to those drivers, see how that situation started.
Could have been fender rub too.
Could have been fender.
We'll see.
Yep, we'll talk to them and get you updated at the second race, which will be at about 12:40 this afternoon Central Time. Up next is going to be Grid Life Drift. We're going to step away after you hear from the partners and people that make this possible. Thanks so much for watching GLTC race number 1 of the weekend. We'll see you this afternoon for race number 2.